Hey guys, it's a beautiful fall morning. There's a breeze ruffling the dry leaves up in the tree. Not everything started to change, but some of the early trees are changing. And that is the time of year when you start thinking about your spring garden. You're always planning ahead. So this year I found that a lot of my seedlings from the flowers that I started from seed were eaten, and I was thinking I'm not going to buy a lot of seeds. And then I saw something on Amazon, and it was a collection of seeds, some of them which I have no experience with. So I went ahead and bought a 25-pack mix of flower seeds, and it was only $6.99, so I couldn't resist. And I figured even if each pack gives me one plant, I'm still way ahead. So these are all annuals, I believe. Maybe a couple perennials are mixed in, but it's a nice mix of flowers. So I thought I would unbox it and we'll see what we've got. So we have, the first one we have is Pink's Double Imperial Mixed Flowers. And this is a cheap variety of seeds, but I've had good luck with it. And I think I've actually seen some of these in the dollar store. Isn't that nice, guys? So this one is a Dianthus Barbatus. So it's an annual, and this one takes full sun. These are nice packs. They give you a lot of information, the height, the planting depth, seed spacing, days to germination, which is always helpful. So that one is pretty, Dianthus. And I have had luck with Sweet William in my yard, so I think they're related to them. So I feel like I could probably get a couple of these growing. And then I always like to plant marigolds. They're some of my favorite late summer and autumn flowers. This is the Cracker Jack Mixed Colors. And again, that's an annual. So I think that one will be nice. Always like to plant marigolds for late summer. And then asters. I've been seeing a lot of people are growing asters, and they're just beautiful. And they're pretty for cut flowers. This is an Aster Crago Mixed Colors. And the Latin name is Callistephus chinensis. So maybe you guys are familiar with that, but it would be nice to have a mix of those. And then zinnias, I had a really tough time growing this year, but the ones that I have grown are now giving me flowers, and I'm enjoying them. And like I said, it was really hard for me to grow them between the earwigs and the rabbits, but at least I got a few. So it's going to be nice to have these. This is the California Giant Mixed Colors, and I think those were actually the ones that grew for me. So those will be nice. That's another full sun annual. And guys, these are all packed for 2021, but that doesn't mean I can't grow them in 2022. Seeds are good for a lot of years, unless they get wet or spoiled in some way. But I'll just keep those in the fridge until, March or April, and then I'll take them out and start seeing what I want to sow. A few of these I can sow right in the ground in the fall. So let's see, Alyssum, Carpet of Snow. I think I showed you some of my purple alyssum, and that was also grown from seed. So this is a really nice one, especially for container planting. So I always like to have alyssum in the mix. And then here's a Sunflower Autumn Beauty. And every year I say I'm going to plant some sunflowers, and I don't. So maybe next year is the year I do it. Here are Snapdragons. And these are lovely cut flowers. This is a Tetra Mixed Color variety. And I know a lot of people have luck with those. So that'll be nice. Again, I think that's an annual for full sun. I've got to find sunny spots for these, or use them in containers where I can put them in the sun and make sure they're getting plenty of sun. Candy Tuft Umbilata Mixed Colors. And I'm not familiar with this variety. It's an Ivoris Umbilata. That's the Latin name. That one is pretty. Another annual for full sun. I'll have to find some sunny spots for these. I have a woodland garden, so we'll have to look, but let me know if you have any experience with that. That is a beautiful, beautiful looking flower. Kind of looks like it mounds there. And another marigold, sparky mixed colors. I'm excited about that. I love the ones that have red and orange. Isn't that pretty? That's kind of a rusty red. So again, I like to have plenty of marigolds for late in the season. And here's a smaller one. I did manage to grow one of these last year from a mix, and I really like the size of these. They're not too tall. They're actually a prettier plant because it's a shorter plant. So I'm excited to have these Lilliput, and they're mixed colors as well. Another full sun annual. And then here's an African daisy. This one is really pretty. I feel like that would be pretty in a cut flower bouquet end of summer or fall. That's an annual for full sun. And I do have some, I think I have some Gloriosa daisies, but those are perennials. But this happens to be an annual, so that should be pretty. It must grow fast if it's an annual. And then I have petunias here. Those are pretty. They always look good in the cooler weather, so spring and fall. But they have really tiny seeds. But that's a mixed color. A lot of these are mixed colors, and I like the way that looks in the landscape. It's really interesting. But these look like purples and pinks and whites, so that should be fun. And I have had luck growing these from seeds before, so hopefully I can do that in some of my containers. And Sweet William, and I actually have this variety already in my garden, so I know it does well. And I think I'm going to scatter this seed in the fall. I think it can kind of set into the ground. I think that's when they... Oh, it also self-sows, which I've noticed with my own plants. And I believe these are a biennial. Oh, it says perennial. Dianthus Barbatus. That's the botanical name. So I can add more of these, which I already know do well. And then Cosmos Early Sensation. Here's beautiful pink mix. And I have a mix, a sunshine mix that has yellows and oranges. And they do well in my garden, although the rabbits ate my seedlings. So I think I'm going to try to grow these in seed trays until they're a little bit more established. Then I'll put them in. These are also great self-sowers. So if you have a nice patch of soil and you grow these, they'll drop their own seeds. And in fact, I wanted to show you, I've already saved some of my own seed. And they look like this. These have come off of blooms that were already dry. But they have this beautiful, easy to collect seed. And it's very thin. I'm going to show you my hand. This is what it looks like from your own garden. And I hope you can see what that's like. It's a hard seed, it's thin, and very easy to spot. So I have also been collecting my own seed in the garden. And when the nights start to get cold, this is when a lot of your annuals and perennials will make seed. So I've also collected a couple of seed heads from my marigolds that I'm growing this year. And if I just pull them out here, I will see, out of the little seed package, you'll see a whole bunch of seeds just like that. Okay, I hope you can see that. But those are very easy to collect in your own garden with the marigolds you're already growing. So that's nice too. But I digressed from the Cosmos. Isn't that a pretty mix? Early Sensation single mix. So maybe I don't have to wait as long for these as I do for my orange and yellow ones. And then here's Stock Dwarf 10 Weeks Mix. That must mean you get it in about 10 weeks. So that's an annual or biennial in full sun or part shade, so it's good for me. Maybe I can put this in the rustic garden, so that's good for me to know it can handle part shade. And Bachelor's button, These are beautiful flowers, and I grew them once before and I didn't care for the foliage, but I think if I put them toward the back of a garden bed, that would be a better placement, and I'll try them again this year, but that's another annual for full sun. Can you believe how many packages of seed I got for $6.99 on Amazon? I'm sure they have vegetable mixes as well if you're interested in vegetable gardening. This is Calendula Pacific Beauty Mixed Colors, and that's a pretty one. I have grown calendula before. You do have to be careful where you put them because they're very prolific self-seeders, and they have a little moon-shaped seed. So these are really easy to grow, and I think I'll grow them again this year. I grew them 2 years ago and had very good luck with them. And then I got nervous about the self-seeding, but I'm going to put it somewhere where I'm happy with having lots of calendula. This is one I've never heard of, Clarkia Double Mix. And this is an annual for full or partial sun. That's good. It's called C. Untitled. Let me know if you guys have ever heard of this. I haven't heard of this mix. I don't really know what its habit is, but it's really a pretty flower. It could be pretty in a bouquet. So no, I have no experience with that one. And that's why I like going out of my comfort zone a little bit and getting a mix of seeds. This one I have in my garden already, and I think I'll actually scatter the seeds around the area they're in, so I have an even thicker batch. But these come up and self-seed themselves every year. Evening Primrose are one of the easiest flowers to have in your garden because they will just come back every year from self-seeding themselves. They get these very full seed pods after they flower, and they just burst open in place, and you have a big stand of primrose. So I'm happy to have some more of these, and I'll scatter those out right after I do this video. I'm going to do that because the seeds have done that already in the ground, and I've actually had some plants come up. Because last month is about when they seeded themselves. So hopefully it's not too late to add these into the mix. And then this is a cut flower mixture, and this might be nice to start in, let me show you what those look like. This might be nice to start in a tray, and then maybe you can identify some of the seedlings and plant them out accordingly. Or if you have just a patch where you want to fill in with flowers, this could be a nice option. But it looks like there's coneflowers and rudbeckia and daisies. It looks like a bunch of, well, it says annuals. Some of these look like perennials to me, but it's for full or semi-sun areas. So you're supposed to sow this in early spring. But that's always a nice option too, just to scatter these seeds. And if you don't like where they come up, you can always transplant them in milder weather, probably not the hottest weather. Here's another aster mix, which I just love, and I hope I get some of these. This is the Powder Puff Mixed Colors, Callistephus chinensis. It's an annual for full sun. Isn't that pretty, guys? I'm excited about that one. So we'll see how my asters do. These are, I think asters might be perennials, so it might be that I have to wait a couple years to get something that looks like this. We'll see. Here's another wildflower mixture, and I'm seeing cone flowers on there, perennial and annual mixture. So this would be nice for a patch of grass you want to fill in, because the annuals would grow really quickly while you're waiting for the perennials to mature and flower the following year. So this could be a nice mix for a patch of ground, and give you results right away and then in the future. So that looks nice too. It also looks like there's a little cosmos in there. This one I think I'm going to spread now. I think this is the time of year where you want to do that, fall or winter. It's a red corn poppy, Papaver the Roeus. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these Latin names, but that's a beautiful red poppy. And I did get a few very small poppies in my rustic garden last year, but I'm not sure that that has a lot of sun. I don't think that has enough sun for poppies. They're really a full sun annual. This one says annual, but a lot of poppies will self-seed themselves. So even though it dies back every year, their seeds will come back up. So put these where you want them year after year. And then we have a couple more left here. We have Baby's Breath, Gypsophila. That one's a beautiful annual for full or partial sun. And that's nice to add into bouquets. I'm not sure what the foliage looks like, but always a nice one if you like to cut bouquets out of your garden. So I'll plant that one up. And this one I'm very excited about. In fact, this is what drew me to this particular mix. This is straw flower, and I've seen lots of other people growing this one, and it's nice because it's an everlasting, and it's a mix of colors. They're tall, so you know that the stems will be nice for cutting, and it has kind of a papery flower on it. I think they're all the rage now for planting, so I hope to get a few of these. And this is an annual for full sun, and maybe it'll continue to give me seeds each year. So I think I'm going to have a lot of fun next spring and summer, and hopefully I will get some of these flowers. It's always exciting when you plan ahead for the next season, and you think about what you want, and you think about what's done well for you in your garden before, what you've never tried. So I can't say that these will grow yet, but I will recommend that you get a really nice mix, and maybe you will try some things that you wouldn't try before if you buy a mixed seed package. And like I said, this was from Amazon, and I now have loads of seeds. I did collect a couple other seeds. I showed you the marigolds, and I'm also collecting a few zinnia seeds from the garden. This is the Isabellino mix. It's a very pale yellow, and I happen to really love the zinnia. And I brought one in as a cut flower, and I realized that it produced seeds. And right at the end of the petals, when it dries, you can see that they have seeds. Let me do it as close as I can. Those little things at the tips, they're kind of a pointy seed. These are still green, but I think they'll be okay once they dry. A lot of times you can come out and collect the seed when the flower head is completely dry. And a tip to know about collecting your own seed is never do it in the morning where there's morning dew. You want to do it on a dry day where the seeds that you're collecting are really dry. And I always keep them out for a week or two just in a bowl to make sure they're completely dried out before I store them in these little envelopes, which I think I also got on Amazon. They're called coin envelopes, and they seem to be a really good size for saving your own seed. So Amazon really helped me out with the seeds and the seed packages. I bought these last year, and you can buy a big box and have them for years. But thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and let me know if you've already bought seeds for next year's garden. I am already so excited about the next garden season.